Hello and welcome again. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, we started already with nutrition, animal nutrition, and then we've already narrowed down to minerals. We talked previously about calcium, and we've already started also phosphorus. Now, the reason is because calcium happens to be the most abundant mineral in the body of living organisms, especially, let's say, humans and poultry, birds, and other livestock. Now, phosphorus happens to be the second highest, so we're taking them gradually, one by one. Now, in dealing with phosphorus, dietary phosphorus, we already started with historical perspective, sources of phosphorus, and also we've looked at absorption of phosphorus. In the previous class, the last, we looked at the metabolism of phosphorus. So today we'll be looking at functions of phosphorus. Now, if you've missed any of this, please go back to the previous videos and also watch them. Now, just in case, if you gain value from this, why don't you share with a friend, share with someone else, and also like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you. So let's go straight to what we have today. Essentially, today we'll be looking at the functions of phosphorus. Now, what is the importance of phosphorus? Dietary phosphorus. Now, before we talk about it, for you to see the function, where are the sources? Now, let's go back briefly to the sources. We looked at dairy products and also particularly plant tissues, green leafy vegetables, like you have the amaranthus, cruentus, and the celosia argentea, spinach generally in the English. Now, also we have them in legumes and cereals in form of phosphates. Now, looking at the key hints now, before we look at the functions particularly, the thing is this: phosphorus, like I said in passing, that phosphorus is the second largest or abundant mineral in the body, and about 85% of the total abundance or total presence of phosphorus in the body actually occur in two places: the bone and the teeth. Now, I want to go back this so we don't confuse this. Phosphorus is the second largest second in abundance in mineral after calcium. Now, of the total of the phosphorus in the body of human particularly, and about the same range in livestock like poultry, birds, cattle, sheep, goats, swine, about 85% is found in the bones. And you want to talk about the teeth, or for birds you talk about the beak. So this for about this percentage. Now let's go to the functions now, where it actually boils down to it. Now let's talking about the bones and the teeth. It helps in the formation of the bones and teeth. So phosphorus alongside with calcium helps in the formation of teeth. Now we looked at it in previous class, particularly that of yesterday, where we particularly analyzed it, that they are kind of mutually exclusive, not exactly, but in terms of if you're going to be having a large quantity of calcium in the bloodstream, a lower percentage of it of phosphorus. So we have them, they call them antagonistic minerals. So, and we have hormones that ensure that while we have enough of it, enough of calcium, like we have calcitriol, and we have the other, which will make sure that we have a lower of phosphorus. Then another thing is energy metabolism. The very currency of energy metabolism, usually example in Krebs cycle or glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, you have the ATPs produced, you have the P there being phosphorus. The energy metabolism, the component of it is the adenosine triphosphate, which is the ATP. So the ATP is the currency of energy. Now what that means is this: the body requires energy. For example, now I'm talking, I'm teaching, I'm passing information. The brain requires energy to function. My hand, my eyes, and every part of me. The currency of energy that the body knows is ATP. So if the body must use energy, the energy must be packaged in form of adenosine triphosphate. So that's where phosphorus comes in. Phosphorus is important in formation of the energy package that the body uses. So that's that. Now another thing is that phosphorus is present in the cell structure, the cell membrane, in form of phospholipid. Phospholipids forms the cell membrane which protects the other organelles inside the cell. Now you know for plant cell you have the cell wall, but for animal cells you do not have the cell wall, you just have just the cell membrane. So the cell membrane, the outer covering of it, no, the cell, the outer covering of it is the cell membrane. The essential part of the cell membrane is the phospholipids, and the phospholipid you have phosphorus making the phosphate part of it. So that's another very important function of it. So when you consume food that is rich in phosphorus, you're helping to build bones, strong bones and healthy teeth. And also when you consume food that is rich in phosphorus, like we talked about the vegetables, the green vegetables, you're helping in the formation of adenosine triphosphate for yourself. And then also we talked about the cell membrane. The cell membrane being part, the phosphorus being part of the cell membrane. Then another very useful part of it is maintaining a level, hemostatic level of the pH of the blood. The blood needs to be at a certain range of pH that is acceptable. Now, in order to avoid it being too much in the extreme, either hypo or hyper, phosphorus helps to be a buffer to stabilize the pH of the blood. So when we consume phosphorus in our food, leafy vegetables and the other, we get phosphorus that help stabilize the pH of the blood. Now what is pH? pH is potential hydrogen, degree of acidity or alkalinity. You want to call it basicity depending of the blood. So you want the blood to be neutral, so that the level of acid to that of base is about a required range. Phosphorus helps to maintain it. Now, number 5 reason why phosphorus is important, the function of it, is that it's a very good genetic material, or it's a raw material for the production of DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. And of course, you know that the RNA, you have the transfer RNA, the messenger RNA, and the ribosomal RNA. So the particular structural part of structural component of DNA has phosphorus in them, and the structural part of RNA has phosphorus in them. Now this, we want to conclude the functions of phosphorus. I believe you've learned something here today. If you learned value, please share the video and also like. You have a question, please ask. You have a means by which you think we can improve on this, please let us know. So far we've already looked at the historical perspective, sources, absorption of phosphorus, metabolism of phosphorus, and today we've looked now at the functions of phosphorus. In the next class, I want you to stay tuned. We'll be dealing with the deficiency symptoms. Of course, you know that deficiency will be the opposite of the function. Now, this is when phosphorus is available in the food or feed of the livestock, the food of the human. But if it's not available, the deficiency of it, what are the results? So we're going to be seeing them in the next class. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you.